Hundreds of horny couples will be gathering in the UK for Swingathon. A man was sucked into an MRI machine and sadly perished. And another man refused to climb down from a homeowner's roof because he believed drugs were inside the chimney. These are the weird stories on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian inside a closet. Hundreds of horny couples will be gathering in the UK for the largest sex festival. It's called Swingathon. Swingathon! Yeah, apparently this is the largest swingers festival in the world. Swingathon! I'm going to keep calling it like it's a monster truck rally. Swingathon 2025! Grab your lube, grab your prophylactics, and come on down to Swingathon. No partner, no problem. At Swingathon, we'll match you up with another swinger. Swingathon 2025. By attending Swingathon, you acknowledge and accept all associated risks, including but not limited to injury, illness, property damage, crabs, gonorrhea, herpes, and any other STDs. You release the festival organizers, venue, and their affiliates from any liability arising from your participation in Swingathon, which is a sex fest. Swingathon 2025. Get your tickets now at boinkmywifewhileIwatch.com. Swingathon should not be confused with Glory Hole Festival, which takes place every year in Florida. Oh, I just pulled all that out of my butt. No pun intended. That was fun. So I think I just created the commercial for Swingathon. If you're listening and you happen to be one of the producers of Swingathon, feel free to use this. Just tag me in your ad. Just give Weird AF News some credit over here, all right? Or I don't know, a free flight over to Swingathon. I'm not sure I really want to attend Swingathon. I like living without a rash. All right, I should probably get into the details of Swingathon because maybe one of you want to attend this lovely festival, which is in its 5th edition. This is the UK's largest sex festival, and it is going to take over a small village in Lincolnshire this week. Swingathon, which sees more than 500 like-minded couples come together and gather to celebrate non-monogamy. It began in the tiny village of Allington near Grantham. I assume these are all villages in Lincolnshire. Attendees are charged. They have to buy a ticket. They're €200 each, it says, for a 3-day festival. Whoa, can you handle swinging for 3 days? My goodness, I don't know if I can handle swinging for 3 hours. It says the participants will be treated to a wide range of adult-themed entertainment, including play tents, pole dancing performances, hot tubs, foam parties, and, quote, games. Ooh, what kind of games? Guess the venereal disease I just got? I'm poking fun of them, but, hey, if this makes them happy, they should be able to do what they want. I mean, do they have a permit, though? I'm curious. Did they just descend on this town, a bunch of swingers, or was the town, involved? And, how did the locals feel about this? Let's keep reading and find out. It says, while the organizers refer to the festival as an adult alternative lifestyle event rather than a sex festival, Swingathon has this year been moved to such a remote location. This is in response to complaints of, quote, loud moaning by local residents after last year's event. The loud moaning. Did you hear the loud moaning last night? I certainly did, Beatrice, and I don't approve. He doesn't approve of the moaning. Well, I went and investigated the moaning last night, and then I bought a ticket to the moaning, and the next thing you know, I was moaning as well. I rather like it. The article says, despite the new remote location, Allington, being home to just 8,000 people, is still a bit of a sleepy village, and there have been plenty of complaints about the arrival of this Swingathon this year. One local told the media, quote, well, we're becoming known kind of like the swingers' capital of England. Just because of this festival, that's not a title we want. It's mostly elderly people and families here, so you can imagine them spitting their tea out when they learn we were to be the home of the Swingathon. It's usually the talk of the village. Some say consenting adults can do whatever they want, but I know many are not pleased they have chosen here for such activities. It's just a bit seedy and sleazy, ain't it? Not for me, I'm afraid. Now, the organizers of the festival claim it is not seedy, it is not disgusting. Matthew Cole says regarding Swingathon, contrary to some beliefs, there are no keys in bowls, seedy music, lecherous individuals, or a high level of STIs amongst this community. In fact, individuals within this community are quite respectful, conscientious, and more likely to practice safe sex or be regularly tested than the average person that you might meet on a night at the club or the bar. Our team is very passionate about normalizing the sexual freedom that alternative lifestyles provide and continue to strive against prejudice and adversity to bring the community a very safe and inclusive social play and a learning space. They're providing a learning space for the locals, is what they're doing. Would anyone like to learn something? Well, I went to that swinger fest, and boy, did I learn some things. I didn't even know a pile of humans could move that way. Well, I mean, I'm sure that there's some revenue being brought to the town because of this. I mean, 1,000 people coming to a town of just 8,000. The restaurants might be busy that weekend. I don't know. Hotels, sure. So, I mean, there'll be some benefit, I think. You just got to deal with the moaning, I guess, and other noises, I'm sure. Is there a Spotify playlist called Sounds of an Orgy? I don't know. I should look that up. Anyways, I don't know. What do you guys think of the Swingathon? Are you thumbs up, thumbs down this event? Email me, funnyjones@gmail.com. A man has passed away after being sucked into an MRI machine. It's a pretty morbid story, and I wasn't going to cover it, but so many of you sent me this article, so I just figured this is what you want. This poor guy sucked into an MRI machine. A 61-year-old man has perished, sadly, after he was pulled into a magnetic resonance imaging, also known as an MRI machine, at a medical center while he was wearing a very heavy metal chain. So it sounds like rest in peace, Mr. T. So sad. We had a good run after all. I'm kidding. This man is not being identified. I guess could be Mr. T. Could also be Flavor Flav. Yeah, boy! Ah! That was my impression of Flavor Flav being pulled into an MRI machine to his death. Yes, I just did an impression of Flavor Flav being pulled into an MRI machine to his death. Welcome to Weird AF News in all of its weirdness. Okay, back to the details. The unidentified man entered the MRI room at Nassau Open MRI in Westbury on New York's Long Island. He did this without permission, as the MRI machine was running at the time. A patient in the facility told the media her husband was the one who died. She said she had called him into the room after she had a scan. Oh, so it sounds like the wife called him into the room when she was done. But yeah, you can't let just anybody in there, right? It's like double doors. There's some security. There should be an employee in there. You have to check everybody, make sure they don't have metal on them before they go in. I'm not an expert. I've had 2 MRIs in my life. Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you were wondering, do I got MRI money? Oh yeah, I do. It's called Medi-Cal, California Free Insurance. Hey, how do you know it's free insurance? Well, the MRIs that I had took place in the back of a truck, basically. That's no lie. Okay, anyways, they really are supposed to be on point when it comes to making sure nobody enters when the machine's running. Nobody with metal, of course, is not allowed anywhere near it, because even when it's not running, it has this like really powerful magnet. Now, the Nassau County Police Department has this to say about the incident. The male victim was wearing a very large metallic chain around his neck, causing him to be drawn into the machine, which resulted in a medical episode. I guess it's just too morbid to describe what happened, so that's why you call it a medical episode. It's very general. I mean, anything is a medical episode. I mean, one could argue that Swingathon is one big medical episode, or could be. Now, according to the wife who spoke to the media, she said that she was getting an MRI on her knee. She asked her husband to come in to help her get up after the MRI was complete. She said that he was wearing a 20-pound chain with a lock that he used for weight training at the time. Well, sounds like her husband was a badass. 20-pound chain around the neck. I mean, not something you want around your neck when you're near an MRI machine. Where was the employee? You can't allow the husband just to walk in. The employee should help you up when it's all over. They helped me out. There's something completely wrong with the staff and the protocol going on over there, at least in this instance, in my opinion. The wife described what happened after. At that instant, the machine switched him around and pulled him inside, and he hit the MRI. The wife and the technician attempted to pull her husband away from the machine. The wife says, he looked at me and waved goodbye, and then his whole body went limp. Oh my goodness, this is like the saddest thing ever. Shoosh. And completely unavoidable. This sort of thing shouldn't happen. Ugh, so sad. Now, the article here ends by saying, MRI machines have magnetic fields that will attract magnetic objects of all sizes, keys, mobile phones, even oxygen tanks, which may cause damage to the scanner or injury to the patient or medical professionals if those objects become projectiles. Yeah, I mean, I thought everybody knew this. It should be common knowledge regarding MRI machines. But it seems like people haven't got the memo. I've covered a couple stories regarding MRI machines. One was involving a woman who went in with a metal butt plug, and that didn't end well. She's not going to Swingathon anytime soon. I'll just say that. There was another incident, I don't know if you recall, but in Brazil, an individual brought a gun inside an MRI machine and it actually went off. So, I mean, it would seem like we need to get the word out on this sort of thing, and maybe improve the protocol if it needs improvement. It should be, the utmost of safety precautions has to happen around machines like this. This is fact. I am not yanking your chain over a serious issue like this.
The spirit of innovation is deeply ingrained in America, and Google is helping Americans innovate in ways both big and small. From improving emergency response times to protecting against cyber attacks, local, state, and federal governments are innovating with Google AI. This is a new era of American innovation. Find out more at g.co/American innovation.
A man refused to climb down off a homeowner's roof because he believed that drugs were inside the chimney. You've heard of a chimney sweeper, right? This is called a chimney tweaker. He thinks there's drugs inside the chimney. Let's not judge, though. Maybe there actually are drugs in a chimney. I don't know. People put their drugs up their, anal cavity, so I guess why not a chimney? This story is out of Bangor, Maine. Oh, Bangor, Maine. You can't get there from here. That's how people talk in Maine. Isn't Stephen King from Bangor, Maine? I believe he is. All right, let's get back into the story about the man with the drugs in the chimney. Does he live in the chimney? Oh, I'm so curious. People could be living in chimneys right now. I don't know if you've seen the housing crisis that we're going through, but rents are too high. So maybe they're renting out chimneys? Yeah. Is this some sort of Airbnb arrangement? Like if you can rent out our bedroom, or you can rent out the living room, you can rent out the tool shed, and if you can't afford any of that, you can rent out the chimney. It's a little sooty, but, we provide a soot guard for you and your comfort. Soot guard? Soot guard. Yeah, I'm just making up products. Okay, so members of the Bangor Police and Fire Departments say that 39-year-old Stephen Nason, a citizen of the area, climbed onto a roof and refused to come down off the roof. The homeowner told the media that she and her boyfriend began hearing something on the roof at 4 a.m. They then went to the back deck and saw a ladder up against the back of their home. They said that's when they saw Stephen Nason on the roof, their roof. Although they've never seen Stephen before, when they asked him what he was doing up there, they claim he yelled down to them he was trying to retrieve drugs out of their chimney. This, of course, surprised the homeowners because who stores drugs in a chimney? Maybe Santa leaves a little stash for next season. Hey, man, Santa's got to go all night long. You think he can do that without the assistance of some very special chemicals to keep his motor running? Okay, back to the details. The homeowner discovers Stephen on the roof, calls the local police and fire department, who arrive, and they decide to put a basket up near the roof. The basket is that little container that's on the end of a lift that an individual can jump inside, so then they can bring him down. So that's what they were trying to get him inside, it sounds like. So now they claim that Nason then jumped off the roof into the basket and then grabbed the axe that was attached to the basket and then jumped back onto the roof. All right, so this sounds like it's going south. Who came up with this plan? The homeowner claims then Stephen proceeded to chop holes into her roof. Who? I don't understand. What brilliant first responder came up with this idea to send a basket up with an axe? It's just, I don't get it. Like, hey, Captain, there's an emotionally unstable, possibly dangerous dude on the roof screaming something about drugs. Yeah, hey, let's send up some drugs. Oh, we don't have drugs to send up. Okay, let's try giving him an axe and see what happens. What? Well, it all makes sense when you consider this is Bangor, Maine. You're not dealing with some elevated IQs. Let's just say that. Now, they interviewed the Bangor Fire Chief Jeffrey, who said that we used the basket as an attempt to treat someone in a crisis with dignity and respect, but the plan went really south. We wouldn't have expected that. It's nothing we would pre-plan. We certainly don't train for this. It happened, yeah. It was an unexpected consequence of trying to do something good for the man. Oh, that's adorable. Yeah, you got to give them credit. They're trying to treat a drug user with dignity and respect, which is a little out of the ordinary for law enforcement in general in the U.S., I'd say. But again, it bit you in the ass because at the end of the day, you just can't trust a tweaker now, can you? Now, in the end, Nason was taken into custody. After surrendering, he was sent to a local hospital for physical and mental health evaluation. He's going to be charged with aggravated criminal mischief, creating a police standoff, and violating probation. And at the end of the day, Nason learned a very important lesson that the drugs weren't inside the chimney. They were really inside him all along.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold! Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Hi, my friends and loyal listeners of the Weird AF News podcast. Thanks for spending some time with me. Thanks to everyone who sent me articles. I got a lot of that MRI article the last couple of days. You can always send me stuff to funnyjones@gmail.com, or you can drop a link in my Instagram at funnyjones as well. I check that on a daily. Also, please say hi if you reach out to me. I'd love to know where you live and how you discovered the show. I'm always curious about gathering. I want to gather that kind of data. I think it's helpful to know. Someone asked me recently, well, yeah, you're actually answering Instagram DMs. Is this really you, or is this an AI? I'm like, no, it's really me. And I want to know, where do you live? You know, maybe I'll be passing through your country or city at some point, and we can get a beer or 7. Yeah, so don't hesitate, any of you, to hit me up on the gram at Funny Jones. I love to hear from listeners. Before I get out of here, we'll keep this brief. I would love to just say, hey, I have a website, weirdafnews.com, that's paid for basically by your generous donations, especially those from the Patreon. I have a Patreon as well. It's patreon.com/weirdafnews, or you can go to the website and there's a link to the Patreon as well. So check that out. You get additional weird content if you join the Patreon, and you get a really good feeling inside. So I've heard it's a good feeling inside knowing that you're supporting a one-man news production that takes place in a closet. I mean, this isn't NPR here, guys. I don't have a budget. Just making it work here. But thanks to generous listeners like yourself, I'm able to do so. So I appreciate you. And we'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Weird AF News. Good luck with your life, man.